What's up guys, welcome to your 14th Pygame tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to move objects on your screen diagonally. So let's go ahead, and the first thing we need to build is starting points for our object. So let's give it a x of 0, and also might as well give it a y of 0. And after that we need to build our clock object again and set it equal to clock pygame.time.clock with a capital C at the end. And this will allow us to use the clock. Next we need to set speeds for both the y-axis and the x-axis. So let's go ahead and put speed x, sounds like a drug, 150, and speed y, which is also speedy, in case you didn't know, let's set it equal to like 170 or something. So this is all the variables and objects we're going to be working with. So now that we got that taken care of, let's go ahead and build our what we need to build. So right under your for loop, go ahead, and first thing we want to do is blip background to screen. So screen blit background, and of course put it 0 0 so it fits nicely. The next thing we want to do is blit the ball to the screen. So let's go ahead and type screen blit ball, and instead of coordinates such as numbers, we want to give it an x and y, because this ball is going to be moving around, so we want to give it dynamic coordinates so the coordinates will change. So after this we can begin working with our clock. So let's first get that millisecond I talked about, and this will give you clock.tick, and this will make a millisecond equal to 1 milli equal to 1 millisecond. So regardless of how fast your loop goes, milli is going to be equal to 1 millisecond on every computer. So let's go ahead and convert that to seconds by taking milli and dividing it by 1000 dot to get that floating point number. I talked about that last time. So now we got 1 millisecond stored in that seconds. So let's go ahead and find the distance moved for coordinate x. So put DMX, sounds like a rap group because it is, seconds, spell it right, seconds multiplied by speed x. And what this will do is take that 1 millisecond and times it by however fast it's going, and that's how what the distance your ball moves x direction. And DMY, and set it equal to seconds again times speed y, aka speedy, and this will take the speed it moves times 1 millisecond, and the distance it moves in that millisecond is stored in distance of y. So now we can go ahead, and after we calculated the distance, we can go ahead and change that variable. So x plus equals dmx, and y plus equals dmy. But now the last thing we have to do is, this is going to move our ball across the screen, but once it gets to the edge of the screen, it's going to keep going. So we want to say, alright, when you get to the edge of the screen, start back again so we have something nice to look at. So if x, and remember this is the width, if it's greater than 640, because my window is 640 by 360, what do we want you to do? We want you to reset to 0 or go back. And let me scroll down. If y is greater than 360, so if it goes off the screen in the y direction, we want you to reset so we can look at you again. So let me go ahead and run this. Hopefully I don't have any errors. And looking good. And here is our finished program right here. As you see, whenever our ball goes back in either the x direction, goes back off the screen this way, it starts over here, and whenever it gets to the bottom of the screen, it starts back at the top again. So that is the basics of how you can change both the x and y coordinate at the same time to get diagonal movement. And a couple things you probably want to remember: don't forget that decimal point right there, and also don't forget that you're using separate variables for x and y all across your program. And as long as you remember those two things, you should be good to go. So that is that for diagonal movement. I hope you guys learned a little something, but not too much. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.